Hi, Aslam class. Welcome back to your maths video for today's lesson. Today's date is Wednesday. It's the 24th of February 2021. So we're nearing the ending of this month. And today's lesson, we're going to continue looking at fractions. But before we do that, as always, we're going to do your arithmetic. So I'm going to share the screen with you, and you can pause this at your now that all the questions are up. Give yourself a few minutes to answer these questions. Excuse me. And then we're going to go through the answers. So good luck. Okay, welcome back. Hopefully you've done a good job on them. Let's go through the answers together to see how well you've done. So for question number 1, 86 multiplied by 100 will give us 86 will give us 8,600. When you times a number by 100, the numbers move to the left 2 placeholders. So the 6 becomes 100, and the 10 then becomes 1,000. So we get 8,600. What is a quarter of 80? So a quarter, you should know, is 1/4. So to find a quarter of that amount, this is something that we're going to be looking at today, divide it by 4. So is 20. For 3, what is 785's Roman numeral? So we do 500, which is D, and then add on 2 other hundreds, so that gives us a 700. 80 is 50, and then 3 lots of 10, and then 5 is just V. So D, C, C, L, X, 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 V. Okay, the next one, 2 6s plus 5 6s will give us 7 6s. Okay, or you can have that as 1 and 1/6. Question 5, 6 times 4 is 24. Question number 6, 60 divided by 5 is 12. Question 7, what is 16 meters in centimeters? So there are 100 centimeters to every meter. So we need to multiply 16 by 100 to give us that conversion, which is 1,600 centimeters. Question 8, let's work this out. So we've got 7,778. And for question 9, we've got 4,123. And then for question 10, we've got 63 divided by 7, which gives us 9. So well done. If you got all them questions correct, we're now moving on to what we're going to be doing today. And in today's lesson, we are going to be looking at finding fractions of amounts. Okay, and we can use this by using bar models, you can use counters, or you can use your division knowledge to find out what fractions of amounts are. So let's, 1 second. Let me just So here we have a chocolate bar. Sorry, I just ran off and left you there. I went to get something. I forgot to pause it. So here is a chocolate bar. How many parts have made up this whole chocolate bar here? We count. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And here is my chocolate bar with 6 bits. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. So here we go. We're going to find out a unit fraction of this bar. And remember, a unit fraction is when the numerator is 1 and that's it. Okay, so 1/3. So we're going to find a third of this chocolate bar. Okay, so the one on the screen, the one I'm holding here. So let's go about it. The first thing we need to do is look at how many parts our chocolate bar actually has. So in our chocolate bar on the screen and here what I'm holding, we have 6 parts. Okay, 6 parts that make up our whole. Now to find a third, to find out what 1 over 3 is, we have a look at our fraction. And our fraction was 1 over 3. That's what we are trying to split our bar into. We have a look at the denominator and we think to ourselves, right, we need to split our whole into 3 parts, okay? Into 3 parts. That's what we're going to be doing. So the amount of segments in each group is going to be equal to a third once we work that out. So we do the following. To find a third of 6, we take the denominator, okay? This is what we're trying to find of our whole. So we need to split, and remember the denominator is how many parts we have in that whole. So in our whole here, we're now going to split it into 3 parts. And why we do that? By dividing by 3. So 6 divided by 3 is equal to 2. So now let's break this into, that's 1, that's 2, and that's 3. I've now broken my chocolate bar into 3 equal parts. And how many bits of chocolate do I have in each of my thirds? Because I've got 3 parts here. I've got 1, 2, then 1, 2, 1, 2. Lovely. Hungry work. So let's have a look at this screen. So I've got 6 parts in total, and I need to divide that 6 into 3 groups. How many do I have in each group? So now I have to split my chocolate bar into thirds. This is 1/3. This is another third. And that's another third there as well. Okay, because there are 2 parts in each of these. So now I know that a third of 6 is equal to 2, because in my chocolate bar that I had 6 parts of, okay, so I had 6 segments, okay, that was my total whole amount. I wanted to find out what a third was. So remember the denominator, we need to split our whole into 3 equal parts. And by doing that, we divided the whole by 3. And that meant that each part, each third has to have 2 parts in it. So a third of 6 is equal to 2, because there are 2 parts in every third. And that's how you find a fraction of an amount. So you can also use a bar model to work it out using counters. So Dexter has a bar model and counters to find 1/4 of 12. So what he's done, he's got his 12 counters, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. He wants to find a quarter. So he's got to split that 12 into 4 groups, okay? And that's what he's done. He's got his bar model and he's got 4 groups. He's then had to share 12 out evenly so that we can get a quarter of 12. And what he's done there, he's taken 12 and he's divided it into 4 groups. And we've got 3 counters in each group. So what he's done, he's got his 12 counters and gone 1 for you, 1 for you, 1 for you, 1 for you. It's just dividing. So when you find a fraction of an amount, you're dividing the denominator by the whole number. You can use a bar model if you want to. You can use place value counters as well to find 1/4 of 84. And Amir's done this. So what he's done here, he's got 84, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and then 4 1. So he's got 84 in place value counters. He needs to find 1/4 of 84. So he gets his bar out and splits his bar into 4 parts, 1, 2, 3, 4. He then shares out 84 evenly into them 4 parts. So he's given a 10 here, a 10 here, a 10 here, and a 10 here. He can then give out another 10 to each group, and then he can give out 1 to each group as well. So a quarter of 84 would be just one of these segments, which is 21. So practice any method you like to work out the following questions, and I'll go through the answers in the time it takes me to finish this part. But you can obviously pause the video. Okay, good. Now, what you need to do, hopefully you've done all them questions. I'm going to go through the answers with you, and I'm going to show you the different methods for each one. So I'm going to stop sharing the screen so you can just see me and my board, and I'll go to the questions. So the first question was 1/4 of 12. Okay, so I'm going to use a bar model. I'm going to use a bar model for this method. So, and I'm going to use counters. So here are my place value counters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, now there's my 12. I know that I need to find 1/4 of 12. So in my bar, I'm going to split my bar into quarters. I'm then going to share out my 12 so that each quarter has the same amount. So let's go 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. And then 1, 2, 3, and then 4. So 1/4 of 12 is equal to 3, because in each quarter, these are all quarters here, I've got 3 counters in each group. So well done if you got that one correct. Now, place value counters won't really work for these numbers because they're very small, but you can still use the bar model. It's the same thing. This time, I'm going to use my division facts. 1/5 of 15. Okay. Now, I've got 15 as my whole. I need to split it into 5 parts. So I'm going to split that into 5 parts by dividing 15 by my denominator of 5. 15 divided by 5 is equal to 3. So I now know that 1/5 of 15 is equal to 3. And just to show that in a bar model, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so it's exactly the same. So you divide the denominator into the whole number, and we get a 1/5. Then for the last question, 1/6 of 12. Okay, so here's my bar model. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 12 counters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. How many do I have in my 6th? I've got 2. So 1/6 of 12 is equal to 2. Well done if you got them questions correct. Right, let's go back to the screen share and let's move on. So your independent work for today, your challenges. Challenge number 1, draw counters in the bar models to help you complete each of the number sentences on the left. The first one has been done for you. So that's challenge number 1, pretty self-explanatory. For challenge number 2, I want you to complete this table. Now the resources are on the Teams page, so have a look if you want to do this one. This one is a little bit more challenging. You have to complete the table though to make sure you get the correct answers. And then for challenge number 3, you need to do these questions here. So Nijar uses a bar model and place value counters to find 1/3 of 36. Use under his method to complete the following calculations as well, and then answer the rest of the questions. you can pause the video at either one of these tasks. So let's go back. This is task number 1. If you want to do task number 2, complete this. And if you want to do task number 3, pause it here. Okay, we're going to go through the answers. But before we do that, I'm going to get my graphic pad so that I can write on the screen a lot easier than me using the mouse. Okay, right, so I've got my graphics pad now, so I should be able to write on a little bit easier. So you need to draw counters in each of the bar models to help you complete each number sentence. The first one's been done already, so let's have a look at the other one. We've got half of 16. So what we need to do, we need to imagine we've got 16 counters and we need to share them equally into these groups. So we can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. We then count how many counters we have in each group, and the answer is 8. So let's go on to the next one. We need a quarter of 8. So our bar model has been split into 4. We then need to put the counters in the correct places. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How many counters do we have in just one of these quarters? We have 2. So a quarter of 8 is equal to 2. And then the last one down here is the a quarter of 16. So again, we've got 16 counters to put in, and we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Let's have a look at how many we've got in one of our quarters. We have 4. So therefore, a quarter of 16 is equal to 4. Okay, task number 2. If you did this one, the first set has been done for you. So 1/2 as a fraction. What is the division? We divide it by 2 because the denominator is 2. So for an example, a half of 6 is equal to 3. So we've got our 6 here, and we've halved it, and we've got 3 at the top, 3 at the bottom. So 1/4 we know is 1/4. So as a division, we divide by 4. A quarter of 8 is equal to 2. And a way we can show this is by drawing out our 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we're going to do 4 lines going down there. 1, 2, 3, and we've got our 4 groups. Okay, so the next one here, we're going to have to work backwards. So how many counters do we have altogether? We've got 15. We can see that in our example here, we've split them into 3 groups. So we're looking for a third of 15. And how many do we have in each of these groups? We have 5. So what have we divided by? So our fraction is 1/3, and we've divided by 3. And now let's go to the last one. Again, we've got 15 here, but now we've divided it into 5 groups. So therefore, we've found a fifth of 15. And how many are in each group? We've got 3. So we divided by 3. And our thing here is 1/5. Okay, so well done if you got all that right for task 2. For task number 3, Nigel uses a bar model and a place value counters to find 1/3 of 36. We can see here that she's put a 10 in each group and she's put 2 1s in each group. So she's found out that 1/3 of 36 is equal to 12. Let's use her method to complete out the rest of the calculations. So 1/3 of 96. So how many 3s go into 96? And you would find that you would get 32. For the next one, 1/5 of 60. So how many 5s go into 60? Your answer should be 12. And 1/4 of 52 should give you 13. Okay, which amount is greater, 1/3 of 75 or 1/5 of 75? Now to show you're working here, let's do 75 first divided by 3, and that will give us our answer for that. So we can do the bus stop method if you want to, if you're not too sure. So how many 3s go into 7? It's 2, remainder 1. And how many 3s go into 15? The answer is 5. So 1/3 of 75, let's write it down here, is equal to £25. Now 1/5, we need to divide this number by 5. Now I know that 12 times 5 is 60. So I'm adding on another 3. So I know that 75 divided by 5 is equal to 15. So this one here is £15. So which one is greater? It's 1/3 of 75. And then the last question, complete the number sentences below. Half of something is equal to 30. So the way to do this is to work in the inverse. This is our 30. We've had to divide this number by 2 to get to 30. So let's do the inverse. What's 30 times 2? It's 60. Ooh, that's not very clear. Let's write that above. Here we've had to find 1/4 of 20 and our answer has given us 20. So let's times 20 by 4 and we get 80. Because 80 divided by 4 is 20. Now 1/5 of a number gives us 50. What have we divided? What have we, so we multiply these two numbers together. 50 multiplied by 5 is 250. So 5 divided by 250 will give you 50. All right. So they are answers. In each task, they were slightly different. So the first task, you used a bar model. The second task is using place value counters to fill out that table. And then this one here is obviously using your division skills and your multiplication facts. So find a method that works best for you. Ultimately, we want everyone to get to this stage where, because this stage, you know, this is a lot quicker. But if you still need practice in this, then obviously do challenge 2 and 1 would be more appropriate. Okay then, guys. I'm going to stop sharing the screen and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.